Welcome to iSpeakMath online video tutorial, where we provide you with different strategies and techniques in a language that you can understand. Today we're focusing on division. Before you panic or freak out, I know division is tough, but there's many ways to divide, and today I'm going to show you one of them. It's the dots and box method. I've used this method with many of my students, especially those who struggle with dividing in a standard way. I think this strategy is a very good visual representation of how to divide using dots. So what we're going to do is use this strategy in dividing with one-digit divisor. Don't worry, we're not using those flying dots that we just saw. So without further delay, please grab a pencil and a paper so we can get started. Example 1 is 59 divided by 5. First thing first, we're going to do a small review of knowing which one is the dividend and which one is the divisor. Remember, the dividend is whenever the number is going to be divided into, or the number that's going to be broken into parts. So think of it that way. So we know that 59 would be our dividend, and it says divided by, so 5 will be our divisor, divided by 5. So that's the number we're going to use as our divisor. So first thing first, using the dots and box method, we're going to draw a box. I'm going to draw a nice big box, and in that box, I'm going to write my dividend on top of it like this. All right, and I'm going to draw a line in between the 5 and the 9. Now, what I normally do with this kind of strategy, I like to label the place value of each number in the dividend because it helped me understand what role the dots actually play. So in this case, we know our 9 is the ones column, or it's in the ones place, and our 5 is in the tens place, okay? So 5 tens, 9 ones. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw 5 dots in our tens column because that's the number that's on top. So count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to draw 9 dots in the ones column because that's our number on top. So count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take a closer look at our divisor, which is the 5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 5 dots right above it, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this right here tells me that these are the groups that we're looking for. We are going to go back into that box that we created, and we're going to group by 5. And every group of 5 that we create, we're going to count that group and figure out how many groups were in each column. So let me show you. So now we're in the tens column, and I'm going to group by 5. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to go ahead and draw my circle. That's me grouping by 5. But there's no other dots. That was it. So I'm going to count how many groups was that in that tens column that I created. And that was actually just 1. So I'm going to write the number 1 right below. Okay? So now we can move on to the ones column. So I'm going to do the same thing I did. I'm going to group by 5 because that's our divisor. So count with me. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to go ahead and group. Okay, that makes 5. And then we're going to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unfortunately, I don't have another dot to make another group. So that will just stay like this. And we don't have any other boxes to, count the dots in. So that pretty much means we have to stop right there. So what we're going to go ahead and do is count how many groups of 5, or how many groups we created in the ones column. And we only have one circle. So really, it's just 1 again. So what we're going to do is count how many of our remaining dots that are not grouped together, how many we have. We see that we have 1, let me get my pointer. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means 4 is our remainder. We're going to go ahead and write R4. So our final answer is 11, remainder 4. And I promise you, this is it. And we're going to go ahead and do other practices, but you see how we're using the dots to kind of create our answer, and we're really dividing into to find the answer with using the dots and box method. Don't worry, we're going to do another practice. Example 2 is 87 divided by 3. We know 87 is our dividend, and we know that 3 is our divisor, so let's go ahead and use the dots and box method. We're going to draw a box here, okay, and that box will have our dividend on top, which we're going to write it on top, 8 and 7. Then we're going to draw a line in the middle, and we're going to then identify each number's place value. So we know the 7 is in the ones place, so we're going to write ones. And we know our 8 is in the tens place, so we're going to write tens. Okay. So now that we finished with our box, we can now go ahead and draw our dots. So in our tens column, we have 8 on top, so we're going to draw 8. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on our ones column, we have the number 7 on top, so we're going to go ahead and draw 7 dots. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So what we're going to go ahead and do is take a look at our divisor, which is our 3. We're going to go ahead and highlight that. And remember, because 3 is our divisor, our goal is to look for 3 dots, okay? And we're grouping by 3. So it should be something like this. So we're going to go into our tens column, and this is where we start off with. And with our tens column, we're going to go ahead and find groups of 3. So let's count together. So we have 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's a group. We have 1, 2, 3. That's a group. And then we have 1, 2. Not quite enough to make a third group. So now we have to count how many groups do we have in a tens column. We have 2, so we're going to write 2 below. Now what we have to do is, because we have those 2 extra dots that haven't been grouped, we're going to have to move them. We're going to have to move both of them into the ones column. Okay, now it's not as simple as we think, because remember, the tens represent a different place value than the ones. That means that if I look at my 1 dot here, that 1, once I move it over, it's actually 10 ones. 110 is equivalent or the same as 10 ones. So me crossing out that, I'm really adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dots into the ones column. And now if I do the second one, okay, we're going to cross that one out, right? And then I'm going to have to move that one into the ones column. I'm also adding another set of 10 dots. So count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it should look like this. Now I'm ready to go into the ones column and group up 3 dots together. Let's see how that would look like. So we have 1, 2, 3, that's a group. 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 1, 2, and 3, and that is my last group because I have no more dots left. So now what we have to do is we have to count how many groups that is. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 groups of 3 in the ones column. So I'm going to go ahead and write 9 below. This means that my final answer is 29. So 87 divided by 3 is 29. Easy, right? All right, we have our final example, and it's 768 divided by 2. 768 is our dividend, 2 is our divisor. Let's get to it. We're going to go ahead and draw a box, and this time we're going to make sure it's a little bit bigger because we actually have a 3-digit dividend. So I'm going to write 7, 6, 8. And I'm going to draw lines in between each sets of number, okay? So that way we can see and separate. And then I'm going to also draw a line because we also have to identify our place value. We know that our 8 is in the ones place, our 6 is in the tens place, and our 7 is in the hundreds place, okay? So now what we're going to do is, because we look at our our hundreds column, we're going to go ahead and draw 7 because that's the number on top. So count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, if we look at our tens column, we see our number 6 is at the top, so we're going to draw 6 dots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because our ones column has the number 8 at the top, we're going to draw 8 dots like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's take a look at our divisor. Our divisor is 2. That means we're looking for groups of 2, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our hundreds column and work our way down. So let's group by 2. So that's 1, 2, that's a group. 1, 2, that's a group. 1, 2, and that's a group. And how many groups did we make in that? Enough for us to make groups of 2. That was only 3. And if you see here, we have a remainder, which is 1, okay? So remember, we're going to have to move that 1 to the tens column. And like I said, 100 is equivalent or equal to 10 tens. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw 10 dots, okay? 10 dots to represent that 1 that we just lost right here. Okay, so let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're ready to go ahead and find groups of 2 in the tens column. So let's do it. 1, 2, that's a group. 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 And 1, 2, that's a group. We have no other dots, so what we're going to do is we're going to count how many groups of 2 in the tens column. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to write 8 below. Now we looked over to our ones column, and we're going to go ahead and group by 2. 1, 2, that's a group. 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 No remaining dots, so that means we have no remainder, and we're going to count how many groups that is in that ones column. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to write the number 4. That means our final answer is 384. Thanks for checking out this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos such as this. I hope you enjoyed this video and you're that much closer in tolerating division. I know I am because of this method. And make sure to stay tuned for more videos, especially videos that will help you to divide. Maybe this method is not the method for you. There are definitely other methods out there, and I'm definitely going to show you all. Until next time, bye.